This is my new favorite thing to play with. It's like a mini ecosystem in a glass jar. And today I'm going to show you how to make one for yourself. All you need are three things: a tall walled container, substrate, or soil, and a leafy green plant that will grow quickly and then climb up the walls of your container. As you can see, we have an abundance of all three of these things right here in our very own backyard. We're going to grab a large sturdy leaf from this pepper plant, bury it in soil, place it into our walled container, and then cover it with glass. It's that simple. But you might be wondering, why does the plant climb up the walls? Why does it look like it's reaching for the light? Well, it's because it wants to. Plants naturally grow towards light, but they also grow towards water. See? The way this works is there are a bunch of tubes running through this leaf from top to bottom. And when those tubes get clogged up with air, the plant thinks it's underwater and starts growing roots down towards the soil. But if those tubes are filled with water, the plant thinks it's on land and starts growing roots up towards the glass. And since there's nothing to climb on, the roots just end up curling back down on themselves, forming a tangled mess which eventually falls over and rots away. But if we give this plant a trellis to climb on, something strong like this pepper plant leaf, then the roots will grow up and grab onto it. Now, not only will this help the plant grow bigger and stronger, but it will also help us contain it within our walled container. See, climbing plants like this are perfect for creating living walls. They're able to take what's called passive solar energy and turn it into food. That means they can essentially live off of thin air, which makes them ideal candidates for creating self-sustaining ecosystems. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Did you know that fish produce a lot of waste? In fact, their urine is so full of nitrogen that farmers use it as fertilizer. And guess what happens to be full of nitrogen? Plants. This is the basis for an amazing symbiotic relationship. Fish produce nitrogen-rich waste, and plants eat up that nitrogen. And we can harness this relationship to grow plants and raise fish at the same time in an environment known as aquaponics. There are several ways to set up aquaponics, but most involve growing your plants either vertically or in rafts. I prefer growing them vertically.
Okay.
It takes up less space, and the plants love it. Just look at this monstera. She's huge. And all I did was stick her in some fish water, and she got big and strong. The key to vertical aquaponics is using a climbing plant that can grow up and out of the water. That way, the fish have room to swim around, and the plants have room to grow. Plus, when the plants grow out of the water, their roots will absorb oxygen from the air and release it into the water. This will help keep the fish healthy and happy. Growing plants out of water is not only great for fish, it's also great for the environment. That's because it takes much less water than traditional farming methods. Plus, we don't need any pesticides or herbicides. The fish are constantly cleaning the water for us, and the plants are constantly producing food for them. It's a win-win situation. Aquaponics is based on a really cool scientific principle called homeostasis. Homeostasis is the ability of a system to maintain a stable internal environment despite changes in the external environment. For example, when you exercise, your body sweats to keep its temperature down, even though the temperature outside is rising. Similarly, aquaponic systems are able to maintain a stable balance of nutrients and water, even though the environment is constantly changing. This is thanks to the amazing adaptability of plants and fish. They're able to adjust their growth and metabolism in response to changes in the environment, which allows them to thrive in conditions that would normally be too harsh for them to survive. That's pretty cool, but it doesn't explain why this plant looks like it's reaching for the light. Well, the reason is because it is. Plants have evolved to grow towards light because they need it for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants convert light energy into chemical energy in the form of sugars. These sugars are then used by the plant for growth and development. But plants also need water and nutrients in order to grow. Nutrients are taken up by the roots and then transported throughout the plant. Water is also taken up by the roots and then transported throughout the plant. Once inside the plant, water and nutrients are used in photosynthesis to produce sugars. So basically, in order for a plant to grow, it needs three things: light, water, and nutrients. And it turns out that the best way for plants to get all three of these things is to grow towards the light. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.